Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. This is going to be a special edition, and there's going to be a few of these coming in the future, but we're just back from the Pan Am and we need to do some maintenance. We need to get our van in tip-top shape, make sure it's ready to go for a summer of fun in North America, and that's exactly what we're going to do today. And today we're going to start off with changing our differential fluid. Now there's a differential in the back and one in the front. This is super easy. We only need a few tools. Let me show you what I got to do this. All right, let's start with the rear differential. This is the big thing between the wheels that hangs down in the middle. That's the differential. Don't be scared of this. This is a pretty easy one to do. Doing these kind of maintenance items can really save you a lot of money in the long run. And I kind of enjoy getting my hands dirty and seeing what's going on under my van so that then when I'm out on the trail somewhere really remote, I kind of know what's going on and what to expect. Also, if something weird happens, I've got just that much more knowledge to take care of the situation. So let's jump into it. What do we need to change the rear differential gear oil? Well, the first thing we need is some full synthetic gear oil. Now in mine, I'm gonna run the 7590 oil. Now this oil comes in these cool little flexible bags, which you're gonna see why that's so awesome here in just a minute, but this is what you wanna look for. And it's easy to know when it's full. Once again, you'll see that here in just a second. Now my friends at Valvomax, these guys make some really cool maintenance items for changing your oil in the engine, but they make this giant 17 quart oil pan. And it's got this really cool little funnel, so it's easy to pour after you fill it up. I'll transfer this into another vessel that then I can take and have the oil recycled. And this is gonna be a great way to not make a mess while we're changing the gear oil. Now, I don't travel with one of these. Right now, I'm at my father's place and I'm gonna leave this with him. So I'm gonna do some of these regular maintenance intervals as I'm passing through visiting him. I'm gonna leave things like the oil pan. Now, you can do this on the road. You can get an oil pan, you can use old bottles, milk jugs, whatever you can find. So don't feel like you have to have this cool oil pan, but it is gonna make this job a lot more clean and easy. So that's one thing that's nice to have. The other is Valvomax also makes these, what do they call it? Oil spill mats. So I'm gonna put this down, and if I happen to spill some oil on the ground, this is gonna catch it and keep from making a mess in his driveway. So that's cool. Now, a nice thing that I've done as an upgrade to my van is I have put the Agile Off-Road rear differential cover on there. And this is a cast iron diff cover. It's much stronger than the factory Mercedes one. It can take a beating. You can jack the van up off of it. Where if you try to do that on the stock Mercedes one, you'll bend the lip and then you'll start leaking diff oil, and that can lead to big problems down the road. Another thing that you're gonna really want is some paper towels and rubber gloves. All right, one last thing that I like to have anytime I'm working on my van, and that is my Inhabit Designs Works mat. This is the same mat I use outside my slider door, and I use it all the time when I'm working under the van because I can lay this down, slide onto it, and one, it's kind of slippery and it's a lot better than crawling around in the dirt and the gravel, or in this case on the concrete. It just gives you a nice surface to work off of when you're groveling under the van. So kudos to Inhabit Design Works. These guys make great stuff. All right, I think that's it. We're gonna go into the van. If there's anything else that I forgot, I'll let you know as I realize I forgot it. Here we are. I think the last time I was under here with the camera was in Dead Horse, Alaska when we broke our axle. Let's see, I'll put a link to that video right here. It's down below in the description if you want to see how we fixed a broken axle at the top of the world with virtually all we had is YouTube and a call to a few really good friends that helped us out. One thing you want to make sure of is put on your old grubby clothes because you're definitely going to be under here messing with some dirty stuff. I've got my rubber gloves on and show you what we've got. So this right here is the differential. The plug is right here. First off, we're gonna need a 3/8 inch drive ratchet to undo the filler hole on the Agile Off-Road rear diff cover. Now, if you have the Mercedes one, it's like a little rubber plug thing that goes in there. If I remember right, it's been a few years since I've had one. But same difference, you're gonna wanna open that up. And you wanna open this before you start draining the oil because you want it to be able to drain to get air through so it doesn't, get a suction and then drain all funny. And then for doing the drain plug itself, it's over here on the side of the diff. Right here is the drain plug for the rear differential. It's kind of on the passenger side, lower side of the pumpkin, as some people call it, but it's the differential. And it takes, what, a 14 hex. A hex driver, let's see, can you see that? Yeah, this is a number 14. I had to go to a handful of auto parts stores to find this. I was in a place in Colorado where there's just small little towns, and I think I found it in a Napa. But it wasn't the easiest thing to find. I hope you guys have an easier time finding it. And this goes on a 1/2-inch drive. So this will plug onto this wrench, this ratchet, and let me open the drain plug. So let's start off with removing the Agile plug. That's what I'm gonna call the filler plug, which is also gonna let air in. And it's gonna be the first one we wanna let loose. It's also a really good idea to always do this one first, not just for the vacuum side of things and making sure it drains well, but also if you have a problem getting this off, you wanna know it before you let all the oil out of your differential. Because imagine if you drain it, then you go to let this one loose and you strip it, or for some reason can't get it loose, you won't be able to put more oil back in. And if you're like me, where half the time you're doing this in a really remote place, that could be disastrous. So let's bust this one loose first. All right, wasn't too hard. And I'm gonna keep this pan under here because it shouldn't come out when I open this, but you know, you just never know. I just don't wanna make a mess here. All right, there it is. So this is a beautiful drain plug. It's got a O-ring around it. Agile just makes great stuff. See that thing? I love that it's 3/8 drive. It makes it really easy to always have the proper tool. It's not like the hex from Mercedes where I gotta go around searching for this thing. It's just on the end of my ratchet. So I'm gonna set this to remove. I'm gonna find the plug over here. There, it's on. Now this one can be a lot tighter. Let's see here. I'm gonna have to spin around and put my back to you guys for a second. This one might need a cheater bar. Let's see if I can get enough leverage on it. Oh, man. All right, I can't break that one loose. This is a pretty, I don't know, it's like a 8 or 10 inch long ratchet driver. I'm gonna go and grab a breaker bar real quick to pop this loose. So add that to your possible list. I carry one with me. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. I have a kind of it's not exactly a breaker bar. This, I don't know what they call these exactly. It's basically extends the handle. And I want to try this first. This is kind of a new thing. And let's see if it does it. Oh, yep. That did it right there. Now you want to get your oil pan under here because when this thing gets loose, it's going to gush. I want to just say also, this is gold. If you can have, you know, a good breaker bar, and then I've got a piece of pipe that I put on top of this for like when I'm doing the axle bolts and things like that really are on there tight. This will be good. But this new tool is kind of cool. It worked. And this will fit in a tool bag really good. Okay, I don't think I need this anymore. So let's pop this loose. It's getting there. I'm gonna take the hex head off the driver, and I am just gonna finger turn this now so I can get this out. Okay, here we go. Boom. All right, I got a little on me. but that's what the paper towels are for. See, got it on my hands. Good thing for the gloves. All right, we're gonna let this drain completely. Give it, I don't know, a minute or so, maybe a little longer. I'm gonna clean up this hex socket. It got oil all over it. I'm also gonna clean and check this drain plug on the Agile side and make sure it looks good, make sure the O-ring seems like it's in good shape. This probably isn't a bad idea to have a few of these O-rings and replace this. You gotta see, I'm assuming the guys at Agile have that, but it's probably a standard O-ring you can find almost anywhere. I don't have one today. This one looks pretty good, so I'm gonna just run with it. Your rear diff is something when you're doing car washes and just looking over your van like you should. It's something you should look and see if you see a bunch of oily dirt stuck to it and it looks like it could be leaking. If you see that, heads up, because if you drain this thing dry and run with it, you can burn these gears up, and that's a very costly repair. Now it's still draining a little bit. Really wispy. I'm just gonna let it go. I'm gonna let it get all this oil out. And I like looking at the oil once I get it out, so we'll slide it out here and take a look. I'm looking for if there's any, obviously, metal shavings that would be bad. I'm looking to see how clean or dirty it looks. Just generally, it'll give me an idea of the health of the differential, if there's something going on that I should maybe pay more attention to. But so far, it looks pretty good. There's a little breeze blowing through here, and when this oil is coming through in a very little wispy strand, the wind can blow it. So having a really wide target for it to go into, like this awesome drain pan, keeps it from making a mess. Because I have done this into like jugs with a funnel. The wind will blow, and all of a sudden your oil is not going in the jug through the funnel. It's like going onto the ground or onto your tools or whatever. So something to keep in mind. Also, while I'm under the van doing work like this, I'm looking around and I'm just trying to see, is there anything that looks out of place, anything look bent, broken, bolts missing, bolts loose. You know, I'm just looking for anything that could be wrong with it. And I'm trying to get a good survey of my van and what's going on. And it's a lot better to find things that need attention now than have them break while you're out somewhere really remote on a trail. All right, there's just a tiny little bit of oil coming out now. It is almost done. I'll put the plug back in, and then I will kind of wipe it off and clean it up good with a paper towel and tighten it all up. Just the drain plug. So we got to keep the fill plug open because we got to fill it. Don't forget to fill it. And I kind of find some of these little fiddly things, this just has threads on it, and there's the hex, and it's just a cap. I find it's easier to start these if I put it onto the socket, and then I can use it as a handle and turn it. And while I've got this off, I'm gonna wipe this down. I'm gonna make sure there's nothing in the threads. I'm just gonna clean it up really good like I did a minute ago, but it's one last check. It's pretty much quit draining now, so I can put this back in, and I'm gonna try to do this without dropping it. Of course, I've got a little oil on my hands and it is slippery. Okay, there we go, got it started. All right, now you don't have to wrench this thing stupid tight. You just need it tight enough. And I think that's good right there. That's just a nice snug tightness with this big driver. So I'm also gonna look, make sure no oil's coming out. I'm gonna take this as a chance to kind of clean it up with a paper towel. Let's see, my hands are pretty greasy, so I'm gonna pull off these gloves for this next part. I want to pull this pan out and have a look at it real quick and see if there's anything weird in my oil. So let's do that. The oil doesn't smell burnt. It's got a nice little bit of a brown hue to it, but that's just dirt and stuff that inevitably gets in here. But it looks pretty good. Okay, so we've done the drain. Now it's time to refill. All right, so this is why these bags of oil are so nice. And it's just solid plastic. So I'm gonna pull out my knife and I am gonna cut this cap off. And also try to get a good clean cut. You don't want any plastic or anything contaminating getting in your differential. There is a cap here too. Make sure to remove that. Before I fill it, I'm gonna pull my oil pan back over here. So if I dribble any, or especially when it is full, it's gonna overflow a little bit. And once again, I don't wanna create a mess. So I'm putting that there. Okay, let's fill her up. Now I'm just gently squeezing the bag. Got a little drip coming down where I was just a little sloppy. But it is going in. Now if you didn't have these bags and you just have it out of a normal oil carton, like a quart, you have to use a pump to pump the oil in from down below, which is kind of a pain. Whoa, I promise that's not me. This bag's gurgling at me. Okay, there's one bag down. There's a little bit in there. Let me see if I can get the last little bit in. That's kind of nice because now I can go up and on top of the diff and hopefully get it all in there. All right, that one's good. I'm gonna put this cap back on just so the last little bit doesn't dribble out. And I'm gonna get my second bag here. Okay, here's a pro tip. We already cut this nozzle off. The new bag is gonna come with its own nozzle, but instead of taking a chance and cutting my finger off, I'm just gonna take this nozzle and put it on the other bag. And I'm gonna put this nozzle on this bag. Then any last little bits won't drip out of that. And we're ready to go. All right, we got the new bag with the old nozzle. There we go, it's in. So we'll see. We will know it's full when it overflows though. It will overflow. So this hole that's the filler hole is also the full line. Let's see. There it goes, it's dripping. Let's get a little more if I can in there. All right, let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and top it off though and make sure that I wanna see it overflow a little bit. Okay, that's it. See how much it's overflowing? That is full. This has actually taken about 2.5 quarts to get it to overflow like that. So have 3 of these on hand and know you'll use 2.5. Okay, you can see it's still dripping a little bit. Get my plug ready to go back in. And I'm just gonna wipe this edge carefully. I don't want to get any dirt or debris in the hole, but I want it nice and clean. All right. Oh, shoot. Dang it. I just dropped the plug. Let's see. Back on with the rubber gloves. So I gotta go diving in the oil to get it. Okay, I hate it when that happens. I try to never drop anything in the drain pan, but it inevitably happens. And then you're very glad you have your rubber gloves, and you fish it out, clean it off, and start over again. The only downside to this is now this thing is going to be slippery because my fingers are oily and the plug is super oily, but no big deal. All right, let's try this again. You guys are seeing the real thing. I'm not editing this. So you're going to see my successes and my failures. Okay, now you really want to take your time putting these pieces back in and make sure you are not cross-threading them, because once again, that is a costly mistake. Okay, my hands are so slimy from getting in that oil. Clean them off as good as I can. Okay, I got my wrench to tighten. Line this up. Now that one makes a very clear stop when it gets to the end, and that is just a characteristics of agile off-road, doing things the right way. It is, you absolutely know that it is plugged. Well, my diff is really dirty, so I'm going to take this as a chance to kind of use a little bit of this oil to wipe it down, clean it up. Yeah, that looks better. All right, now I've got both the plugs in. I always kind of do a double check, but it looks good. I don't see anything dripping, so I think we're done. This is the rear diff, and it's gonna feel really good to have new gear oil in here. I don't know, it's just one of those things. It's kind of like new tires. It just feels nice. All right, there it is. Changing the rear diff on a Mercedes-Benz Sprinter van. This is a VS30 2019 chassis, 2021 Winnebago Revel. I am far from a professional mechanic. I am just a guy who likes to take care of his stuff. I have a pretty okay mechanical aptitude, but I am by no means a professional or a technician, and whatever I do here, I'm doing to my own rig. And if you guys feel good about it, you should try this on your own rig. There are lots of videos on here. I'm glad you watched this one to learn how to do this. Maybe watch a few more. See if some other people give you some different tricks and tips. If you have something to tell me as a tip or trick, please leave it in the comments down below. I would really appreciate that, because I'm here learning too, and a lot of times I learn a lot of new stuff from you guys leaving comments down below. All right, so there it is. We're gonna wrap this video here. Look for another video where I'm gonna do the front differential. All right, thanks to all you guys. Thanks to our patrons. These guys here keep the wheels turning, keep the oil in the gearbox. Thank you so much for your support. But that's it for now. Until next time, I hope I see you somewhere over the horizon and not under your van. Take care, guys. We're gonna clean up. We're out of here. What do you do with this old oil that now I have in my drain pan? Well, I'm gonna put it into a jug, probably in this case an old milk carton, and I'm gonna take it up to the auto parts store where they will recycle it for me. You don't wanna pour this thing down the drain. You don't want this ending up in a river. You don't want this going into the ground. Let's take care of it the right way. Let's take it somewhere where and let the professionals recycle it. They even collect this stuff for free at the Napa right down the road.